So week 1 is reserved for overreactions. Week 2, we had some cupcake games. We also had some rivalry games. Week 3, we really get into the nitty-gritty. We find out who is for real and who is on the path to mediocrity in 2025. Welcome to the College Football Show, presented by AT&T, alongside my good friend, former NFL QB and Tennessee Volunteer, Matt. Oh, what happened there? Tennessee Volunteer.
Did you really just, we're not even 10 seconds into the show,
It's just because I love you. That's all. That's why we do it.
Appreciate it. How's UConn doing?
Not good. Lost to Delaware today. We are missing our third member of our crew, Skubie Mageza. He will join us in the show from an undisclosed location. We'll get to that in just a second. We've got our updated power rankings here. Later on in the show, we're also going to talk Georgia Tech and Clemson, of course, as well as Miami and South Florida. But do you want to just get it over with? Do you want to just kind of start where it all started today?
Let's rip the Band-Aid off.
All right,
let's get to it.
Let's start where game day was this morning. Down on Rocky Top, the Vols snapped a 15-game losing streak the last time that game day was in town to Alabama. Game day back on Rocky Top, and this time Tennessee looking to snap an 8-game skid to Georgia. Here we go, getting it started. Tennessee and Joey Aguilar going up-tempo. That's Braylon Staley for 15 yards to get it in the red zone. The Vols would strike first, Matty. They came out firing.
Joey Aguilar was just in total control of this football game early. The play calling, the tempo, everything was working in their favor.
First start on the road for young Gunnar Stockton, but you wouldn't know it by looking at him early on. Airs it out down the sideline, finds Colby Young 45 yards, and then right back at you. Gunnar Stockton takes the read option, 6 yards, and he finds pay dirt.
Man, 1-4 is just a competitive SOB, and I love it despite the fact that he plays for Georgia.
Back and forth affair all game long. Aguilar way downtown. Chris Brazzell II. Tennessee has struggled with explosive plays in years past. Not today, Matty.
No, not today, and that's really been the advantage of Joey Aguilar. His accuracy down the football field has showed a few times in this one.
This is Miles Kitzelman for a 9-yard reception. And then another one. Joey Aguilar, the post to Chris Brazzell, 14-yard score.
Brazzle dazzle with more razzle dazzle, man. The route running, the releases off the line of scrimmage is really the separator and why he got so open today.
All right, let's go to the second opening drive. Stockton dishes a screen pass out to USC transfer Zachariah Branch. This is why they brought him in.
Yeah, exactly why they brought him in. What an addition. We'll break this down later on in the film stuff, but this is a huge play in the game that I thought really kind of changed the momentum for
They needed it. It was almost smoke him if you got him time there for Georgia for a second. Here's another deep ball. This one is going to get picked off. This was the first interception that Aguilar had thrown in a Tennessee uniform. Struggled with them all last year. More to come in that. We go to the third quarter. Stockton going to hand it off. Chauncey Bowens for 13 yards. From down 14 in the first quarter, the Dogs marched all the way back to take the lead.
Yeah, and that's really the impressive thing. Bobo and the crew just very patient with their running attack against Tennessee.
That was KJ Bolden picked off. Maybe not all on Aguilar there.
No.
And here we go, another deep strike. Who else? Chris Brazzell II.
Great job being patient, playing the football. It looks like when you first see it that he pushes off, but he really did a great job of composing himself, slowing his body down, and high-pointing the football.
Spoken like a true Tennessee fan right there. Looked like he pushed off. Maybe he didn't. Here's Star Thomas. Tennessee just couldn't get anything going on the ground. This was, I think, their longest run of the game, 27 yards. That puts the Volunteers into a great scoring opportunity. What a route by Braylon Staley here.
I love this pass concept here, and this is one of the high points, right, of just what we saw from Heupel in the offense. A lot of new wrinkles to it, but yeah, that was a well-designed shallow cross that broke it up vertical for the touchdown.
Tennessee was living in the backfield all day long. They got home there as Joshua Josephs forces the fumble, and then maybe the best ball from Stockton all day.
Man, this really was 4th and 6, clutch situation, gotta have it, and just delivers it, perfect throw, and it's good coverage, man. But good job by Humphreys delivering it and catching that over the shoulder. That's a difficult catch to make right there.
All right, so here's where things get interesting. We go with Stockton and the 2-point conversion there to tie it up 38-all with 2.5 to go.
Good play design right there, expecting man, and they ran a play specifically for that coverage to get it.
But hold on, 6 seconds left. We got a false start. What are we doing here with 6 seconds to go?
What are we doing is right. Can we just take a knee and move on? I also hate the fact that we have to get in shotgun to do these type of things towards the end of the game.
Max Gilbert wide right to try and win the game at the buzzer. So we have some free football on Rocky Top. Tennessee now would have to settle for 3.
I'm with you, man.
On their opening possession. So here's Nate Frazier. He's going to take it all the way down to the 1-yard line.
Yeah, just don't like the way that Tim Banks and the defense lined up in this situation with the 3 tight ends there to the field, and just were able to out-leverage the defense too quickly.
And then Josh McCray able to just get it over the goal line, and upon review, Georgia would win it 44-41 to move to 3-0 on the season. They extend their winning streak over your beloved Tennessee Volunteers to 9 straight. Incredible performance on both sides today. I think they both had a lot to prove, and they both did prove a lot. And afterwards, Kirby talked about the win.
Well, Coach, you warned us before this game that you were going to be stubborn about running the football. How stubborn was that, running it in overtime to win this game?
Yeah, I'm really proud of this team. Tennessee deserved to win this game. We didn't play our best game. I got a lot of respect for the way they played, but these kids I got, man, they never quit. They never quit. A lot of naysayers out there about Gunnar. I thought he played his tail off today. Didn't play real well defensively. Give Tennessee a lot of credit.
Wow, we didn't deserve to win that game. Kirby's is going to be an interesting couple of weeks here leading up to that Alabama game. Maddie, what did you learn about both quarterbacks today?
I learned that both of them are damn good football players.
Yeah.
And I really love Joey Aguilar and the way that he's able to play within this offense. I think he saw the field extremely well. Even the one interception where he threw it deep down the sideline. Just throw it earlier, trust your instincts, cut it loose. He waited a little too long and then underthrew it. And the other one, your receiver just slipped, right? It's going to be a route that's most likely going to be complete.
Yeah.
I thought Joey Aguilar did a lot of really good things in this football game. And Gunnar Stockton, man, wow, just tough dude. The leadership, right? The composure, going down 21-7 like that in that type of environment, just played extremely gritty, and just credit to the team in general, right? And Kirby Smart. And that's why he's one of the best coaches in all college football.
Agreed.
If not the best college coach in all football, because he's just a great leader despite what's going on the field.
All right, so that's Georgia getting the win, improving to 3-0 on the year. They win at 44-41. Let's head over to the ACC, the opener for Clemson and Georgia Tech in Atlanta earlier today. Huge game with massive implications for the conference race already in Week 3. Tigers have looked lethargic, to say the least, through the first 2 games, and it was another slow start for them here today. Klubnik going to run it for 10 yards before he's hit, and he fumbles the football.
Man, Omar Daniels, unbelievable hit on the football right there to Klubnik carrying it. And you know that Klubnik is trying to get more involved in the running game because there is no running game for Clemson right now.
So that's Aiden Burr who would capitalize there. More from Burr later on. Here's Haynes King delivering a 42-yard strike down the sideline to Eric Rivers.
Beautiful throw right there. And Rivers winning at the line of scrimmage versus press coverage, right? It's a good release, and that's why he's able to get behind the defense.
All right, second quarter, Jamal Haynes takes it in. Georgia Tech goes up 10-0 early. Similar score to how things started for Clemson last week against Troy.
Yeah, you can see right there. They could have handed it off to anybody there, and they were going to score a touchdown. Really good play design by Faulkner.
All right, so later in the second, here's Malik Rutherford with a catch and a run before getting pushed out of bounds. Clemson defenders, we got a little scuffle here as well.
But this is the key, right? Georgia Tech, just the attitude in which they weren't little bro, big bro here. They were like, no, we are the better, tougher football team, and they showed it throughout the football game today.
Clemson ran the ball better. Look, I'll give Adam Randall credit, not a traditional running back. He's learning on the fly.
This is the play of the game right here. 3rd and 22, they're down 13-0, and they convert that one right there by Randall against a 3-man rush. Huge game changer, got Clemson back into the football game right before half.
Klubnik hyping up his team after going over the top there, because that really was a crucial drive.
Yeah.
So we go to the third after it was a 6-point game at the half. Clemson looking to tie the game here. Klubnik's pass intercepted in the red zone.
Here you go. Omar Daniels, RPO, right? The numbers are against you in the running game. He pulls the football and tries to take the quick slant. Georgia Tech is all over the. Omar Daniels doesn't have to do anything. Good job reading the quarterback and getting the football.
Credit to Klubnik. He's stuck in this game.
Yeah.
Clemson would answer on their next drive. Here's Bryant Wesco Jr., 73 yards for the house call.
And this is what's frustrating. You see this play right here, and you just think, man, why can't Clemson just do this all the time? Because Bryant Wesco is like an NFL caliber type of receiver. But that's part of the frustration right now with Clemson.
Haynes King doing what Haynes King does, scoring from the 1-yard line. Georgia Tech would take the lead 19-14, and then they would also attempt the 2-point play here. And I feel like we've seen this play before. Is this a little Philly special?
Man, and again, just all the plays that they have at their disposal, the shifts, the motions, the movement, how involved everybody is in the game plan, that's what makes Georgia Tech so difficult to defend.
Second and goal from the 2-yard line. Here's Adam Randall. He's going to tie it up. for Clemson on the road. 21 all with 3.5 left to go in the game. We're going to fast forward to about 26 left to go. King's going to barrel ahead for the quick gain, giving Georgia Tech prime position, and then they set up the field goal. As time would expire, Aiden Burr with the kick of his life.
Man.
Driving it home 55 yards out, the game-winning field goal to stun number 12 Clemson on the road. What a win for Brent Key and Haynes King. Fellas, how we feeling in the ATL tonight?
Coach, congratulations. Take me first. You were very calm during that field goal. What were the heartbeat rate like?
I believe in my players. We're good.
You believe in this kid, too. What's the confidence level like when it's 3:30 to go and the ball's in his hand?
I don't know if he's my little brother. He's more closer than a cousin. I love this dude, man. Hey, this ain't our first time doing this now.
You mentioned that. We were here last year in a field storming with Miami, but you didn't use the underdog this time. How is this field different than the rest?
I mean, honestly, it doesn't. Like, how hard we've worked this offseason, fall camp and all that. I mean, this is just what we expect nowadays.
I don't know if you can hear it, but the students around you are chanting King. What does this feel like?
I mean, it makes me feel good, but it's not me. It's this whole team. The guys in front, the defense, the guys around me. Like, it's not just a one-man show. It's a whole building.
He may be right. It's not a one-man show, but without that one man, there is no show.
That's right.
So,
that's right. And you can see it right there. Over 300 total yards that he is responsible for that Georgia Tech offense. And really what I love the most, right, is that one possession Clemson had in the fourth quarter. Why? They control the tempo of the game. They can run the football. They had a 10-minute drive. They got the football back with 3:26 left. They milked the clock. They kicked the game-winning field goal with 0 on the clock. That's just phenomenal game management at the college level.
So Georgia Tech improves to 3-0. Clemson's college football playoff hopes certainly lie in the balance, and I'm not so sure that they control their own destiny down the stretch. But, Maddie, we had a pretty intriguing game down on South Beach earlier today as well.
Yeah, baby. We got South Florida, Miami, number 18 taking on number 5. And Carson Beck here, he is going to find his boy Joshua Moore there for the easy touchdown. Miami goes up 7-0 here in the first quarter. The next drive for Miami, Beck looks deep and finds Moore again. Hey, Moore is Moore, and he's right. Open. Good job adjusting to the football that was underthrown because he was so open. But really good job high pointing, be aggressive despite the defender getting hands on it. Second quarter now, Mark Fletcher takes the handoff, and he is gone for 38 yards. Not only is he big and strong, but he's shifty in space like that. Great job finishing the run and getting in the end zone. That's what I love about Miami. A little finesse, a little power. Right. They can do it all, man. Super impressive.
This
Miami
looks like,
extends their lead.
Looks like a revitalized Carson Beck, though.
Man, no doubt it is. And you know why? Because it's a really well-designed offense by Shannon Dawson. They're not playing a college football-like style. It's an NFL offense at the college level, and it's very impressive. And Carson Beck is fitting into it perfectly there on the keeper. Third quarter now. We go back to our boy, Fletcher. Takes the handoff, and he's fighting through traffic, running his legs, and man, you can just see, right? I mean, he's a dense, powerful running back, strong legs, great job keeping his shoulders over his toes. He's always driving forward. You see the 16 rushes for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, and of course, Carson Beck, hey, he threw 1 interception, but other than that, man, really clean football, like what Miami's doing, and despite everything, South Florida played tough today, but this is a whole nother tier of football team that I think they saw today, and it was pretty evident pretty early on.
It was evident, certainly in the trenches. I think that's where they separated themselves the most. All right, so there were some college football pundits out there saying that, well, a team from the SEC, we'll call them Oklahoma, was, could look a little sluggish coming down from the high, taking down Michigan last week. Early kick against Temple. John Mateer knocked around a little bit against the Wolverines. Boy, were they wrong. I mean, 5 minutes into the first, under pressure, John Mateer passes it to his tight end, Jaron Kanik. What an improvement from him year over year.
Yeah, it's a great point. Kanik is really going to be a valuable tool for this offense going forward, and his ability to stretch defenses underneath especially.
That's Javante Barnes getting in the end zone. Boomer Sooner strikes first, 7-0. We go to the second, 3 minutes into the second quarter. Here's Torrey Blaylock receiving the handoff, and Blaylock would score another touchdown, and the Sooners would go up 18-0. Blaylock had a really solid game. Oklahoma had 3 rushing touchdowns in the first half. For the first time since 2023. Ground game has been a concern this year. Good to see Blaylock run for a Benjamin Franklin today.
And you could see just the speed that he got on the outside there. I mean, no one is catching him right there. So good for Blaylock getting into the game. And he's going to be, again, another guy that is going to continue to develop as the season goes.
That's Robinson. Xavier Robinson gets in for Oklahoma. First passing touchdown of the day, believe it or not, coming in the third quarter, 35-3. And then it's a read option for our boy John Mateer. Heisman Award collision course.
Yeah, it really is. Just good play design right there. And that's what's so great about Mateer, Blaylock now, Satania, Burks, Kanik. All of these guys are kind of starting to figure out what their roles are in this offense, and that's what's scary, right? Because they survived some tough tests here early, and right now they're sitting pretty with this football team.
Yeah, so they would go on to win 42-3, move on to 3-0 this season with Auburn coming to town next week, and the storylines are abound there.
Yeah, and listen, Oklahoma defense, 11 TFLs, 4 sacks, 4 pass breaks up, 1 forced fumble, and 3 quarterback hits. So that's what's coming to play Auburn next week. It's the Brent Venables defense now paired up with this John Mateer high-powered offense.
We'll stick in the SEC here. Texas and Arch Manning hosting the Miners of UTEP. If you were a Texas fan looking for a hot start from your Longhorns, you're going to have to wait another week. And it was an ominous start to this one, too, unfortunately. First play of the game here, C.J. Baxter goes down with an injury. He dealt with injuries all last year long. This is just an unfortunate scene.
Yeah, it really is. And a team that I already view as someone that is kind of devoid of a lot of explosive football players, not having C.J. Baxter is a big loss for them.
Later in the first, Arch Manning with a 2-yard touchdown score. Texas will go up on UTEP 7-0. Early in the second quarter, Texas ball in 4th and 3. Manning throws an interception to Xavier Smith.
Yeah, this is one where it's just like young QB. Throw the flat and take the first down and move on. All right, I'm not really sure why he extended this play. The flat route was open. And then, of course, throwing the football late over the middle. It looks like he just lost track of where that defender was and didn't even see him.
All right, later in the second, Texas still leading. 10 straight incompletions. This one deflected. Yeah. Texas fans let Arch hear it after this.
Yeah, they did, and I understand that. And listen, Texas football is legit. It's more important than Dallas Cowboy football. But UTEP was all over what they were doing offensively in certain situations this week.
Arch would get it going here. Rushes for a 5-yard touchdown to take the lead right before they go into the half.
Yeah.
And then Texas would just keep on rolling. 20-3, 11 minutes left in the fourth, and Ryan Wingo getting involved in the action as well. This is a nice throw.
This is a nice throw. It's a good play concept. I like this a lot, but, it's just the lack of separation, the lack of explosive plays or game plan specific plays. I don't know if they kind of got lost with just, hey, we're playing UTEP, we're better than them, but you got to go out of your way to create more space for your skill group that I think is not quite as explosive as it was a year ago, and you got to help out your young quarterback a little bit more, give him some easier completions.
Still learning on the fly. We'll give Arch, some credit for fighting back in this one and still legging out a win, but a lot left to be desired for this Texas Longhorns team, and I think there's still a lot of questions yet to be decided. All right, time now for Guarantee of the Game presented by AT&T. Let's revisit the Georgia and Tennessee conversation. Coming into this game, Maddie, Tennessee had won 23 of their last 24 home games under Josh Heupel. The only lone loss, 2023 to Georgia. And it felt like Heupel has overcome some of these SEC giants. He's taken down Alabama, he's beaten Florida, but that white whale that was remaining is the Georgia Bulldogs. And it was really kind of the Vols' last true roadblock, I think, to establishing legitimacy as one of those top teams in the SEC.
Yeah.
Was this a game that Georgia won, or was this a game that Tennessee lost? We'll start here.
Oh, man. I hate that you're doing this to me right now, especially live.
When else would you like me to do it?
Hey, all right. But still, with this football game, I'm just going to say good, tough, gritty win, right, by the Georgia Bulldogs. I really am. I think this is honestly a win for both programs.
Agreed. I'm with you there. Yeah.
You got Joey Aguilar. He's talented as hell. We learned a lot about this gentleman right here, Gunnar Stockton. His ability to just fight through it, to play gritty. He's good at running the football. He made a lot of really good decisions. Despite having some pressure in moments of this football game, he just did a great job of managing it, and that's where you got to give it credit to just Kirby Smart, Mike Bobo, for getting this guy ready to go in this type of environment. but just credit to the team being patient in the run game, right? We had 55 carries for 198 yards on the ground. Nate Frazier is legit, right? Gunnar Stockton, of course, getting involved. Bowens, man, he was impressive too. And McCray. You know, I just love the ability when you have a running back room that kind of has like a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So you got a point guard, you got a power forward, you got a strong center, right? And then your quarterback gets in there and gets mixed into it. I think that's a really great addition for this Georgia football team to be able to say, hey, we got a lot of guys in that backfield that we trust as pass catchers, but more importantly, as guys that are going to get dirty between the tackles.
Georgia has to come away from that game both relieved, and I think also with the understanding that they still have a lot of work to do. Kirby even said post-game that he felt like they needed to apologize because he didn't think they should have won this game. He said Tennessee outplayed him in a lot of ways, and I think he's right. The offensive line broke down as the second half went along. I thought the pass blocking, I think, was a problem.
Yeah.
The entire second half, especially the secondary, struggled at times. But I also think, going back to the Tennessee conversation, Josh Heupel's offense is unique.
Yeah.
And it takes a special type of quarterback to run it. But his MO has always been run the ball first, right?
Yes,
I mean, for people who watch Tennessee, we kind of get caught up in those explosive plays. You go back a couple of years with some of those quarterbacks that they had with him and Hooker. Like, yes, they could air it out, but first and foremost, they run the ball.
Right.
That's their MO, and it always has been. I think they've rushed for over 2,500 yards since he's been there.
Yeah.
Did they do that enough in this game? Would you like to see them do it more, or why weren't they able to run it?
Well, they had 34 attempts on the day, right? And I think part of the game plan and what we've seen from Kirby Smart when he plays Josh Heupel in this Tennessee offense is he plays a lot of man coverage. He's over-aggressive on the outside. So that's why we saw a lot of these deep passes with Brazel getting behind the secondary because they're trying to stop the run. They're trying to keep bodies near the line of scrimmage. That left a lot of one-on-one opportunities, right, for Joey Aguilar in this Tennessee offense. This is one thing that I would like to see Heupel do a little bit more with Aguilar. I think he could be a little bit more of an imposing force on the offensive side as a runner, but saw the field really well, made a lot of great decisions. I mean, this guy, he's moving up on draft boards just by his performance, Brazel, today. There's no doubt about that. But I love the game plan specific plays like this that I feel like we haven't seen as much, or we didn't see that a lot last year, right? That was one where they kept that in their back pocket. They ran a lot of shallow crosses. They hit them over the middle again because Georgia was trying to attack the line of scrimmage and stop the run. And they did a great job of running that shallow and then up there on that play design. Really well designed football play there. But, hey, Kirby Smart made the impact. Let's stop the run. Hey, make them beat us on the outside. And listen, Tennessee was making them pay for that.
No question.
But credit to Kirby just being patient in the run game himself, right? And controlling the line of scrimmage, because eventually that really was the difference in the game and why they were able to win in overtime, because they wore out that Tennessee defensive front that was doing well in the pass rush stuff. But overall, you know, when you watch this Tennessee defense, I just thought Tim Banks got a little over-aggressive. You know, you just saw the dink and dunk stuff, right, from Gunnar Stockton. I would have liked to have seen Gunnar Stockton dink and dunk it the entire game, right, in Tennessee today, right? Because I think that would have played a little bit more in our favor, and I think our defensive line would have still had as many opportunities to get pressure on the quarterback there. So I thought Tim Banks a little over-aggressive in this one. Man, I wish they could play again because that was a hell of a football game.
Well, they certainly might play again.
That's right.
We never know with the expanded 12-team
Yeah.
playoff and the SEC championship still. I thought we learned a lot about both of these teams. Both of them are very good, and we're going to see a lot more of them down the stretch of the season. All right, if we thought Clemson fans were less than pleased when they lost to LSU at home, they are apoplectic after today's results. Tigers off to their worst start by record in over 10 years. The stats actually suggest things really might be worse than that. Clemson has its fewest points per game through the first 3 games since '99 and its fewest yards per game through the first 3 games since 2002. It is now our pleasure to welcome in our third member of our crew, Skubie Mageza, who was on a Skubie. How long is the flight? How long is the flight to where you are? And then let everyone know where you are.
Well, I have been in the skies for about 24 hours, gents. I am here down under in Sydney, Australia. And the only thing that is down under right now is the Clemson win total, besides me being here in Australia. Wow. I'm hyped up to be on the show, fellas. Ain't no way that I was going to miss a week. I was flipping through channels on my phone, watching the games. College football season, man. The greatest American sport. And I'm still locked in for America here in Australia.
Is he speaking from the future, too? Because, he's like a day ahead of us, right?
Yeah, he is, right? Scoob, what's the winning lottery numbers? You got those for us?
No, I haven't looked into that yet. There's rules with time travel.
Fair enough.
Do things like that. But it is Sunday right now, and I'm a whole 14 hours ahead of you guys. So my mind's all messed up, but still locked in.
Did the Giants win? That's what I want to know.
Still to be determined. To be determined. All right, Scoob, let's talk about this game a little bit. I think it's fair to say, we have learned now through 3 games, this is not necessarily the Clemson that maybe some of the pundits thought that Clemson was going to be. Yes, they did lead the country in returning production, but that returning production is only as good as they are if they do improve and they get better, right? So, Scoob, with all of the pieces that they do have in place, and they have a lot of talent, do you think they have enough to turn it around this season, or are we heading to a sort of mediocre year for the Clemson Tigers this year?
Guys, we've seen this movie before with Dabo Swinney and his team. Literally last year, after they lost some games that they shouldn't have, and they rallied together, somehow found themselves in the ACC championship and got into the playoffs. Now, I think the first 2 teams that Clemson has lost to this season, we're going to look at them at the end of the year and say, wow, those were actually college football playoff teams. Georgia Tech, that play right there, that interception that we just saw, that Klubnik threw right here in the red zone, I mean, that was demoralizing for him. Just an incredible defensive play. He read Klubnik's eyes the whole way. And then for Clemson themselves, man, I think LSU is a problem. We're seeing what they're doing right now against Florida. I've been able to check into the score recently, but it didn't look good the last time that I looked. And Georgia Tech, I mean, they're undefeated. They're a tough, physical team, and they will wear you down. Clemson, each of their losses have all come down essentially to the final play. And they lost a turnover battle today and still lost on 3 points with the time running out. So I think that they have the ability to turn things around.
I can't put my finger on it, Maddie, why this offense doesn't work. They have lost the time possession battle, I think, in the last 3 games that they've played. But why isn't it working? Explain it to me.
Yeah, I know bad football really well, and I'll tell you right now, with Clemson. Now, hey, they've, like Scooby said, they've lost some close football games. Now, the room for error for this team going forward is minimal, right? If there's any. And the truth is, offensively, I think my biggest concern is that the offense really doesn't have or seem to have a rhyme or reason or a setup to it. We watch Miami.
No identity.
We watch Georgia Tech. There's plays where you're like, they're setting this up. They're setting up this play action pass. They're trying to get this play going. They're making sure this player gets involved in the action. I don't really see that quite so much from Clemson. Just the rhyme or reason to me, it just seems very sporadic. It kind of like, hey, let's run this play and let's run this play. And hopefully this works. We saw the Bryant Westco touchdown.
Yes,
we're just clearly they're explosive, right? Clearly they have talent on the field, right? And Cade Klubnik is a veteran quarterback. But like I said earlier, man, I mean, 1 possession in the 4th quarter, right? So, just bad defense, a lot of talent on the defense side of the football, but not winning in the trenches right now, right? Getting out formation and outmanned way too many times, and it just adds up. And now that you kind of have to question, just how does the leadership within the locker room handle this adversity going forward into the year, right? You really got to kind of lean on each other and just say, hey, we can get out of this. The schedule is favorable for them, but still, we're talking not much of it. I mean, Syracuse, that could be a shootout. We don't know.
Sure.
North Carolina is going to be a better team by October 14th. Boston College is a sneaky opponent for Clemson in the way they've looked.
The Florida State game's going to be tough, too, right? And their identity is the biggest question mark for me, Matt, on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, this is year 3 of Garrett Riley. This is the guy that was coming off a national championship run with TCU, but now here we are. It seems like him and Cade Klubnik aren't on the same page quite yet. And on the defensive side, Dabo ended up firing his defensive coordinator last year to bring Tom Allen in. And right now, they're giving up 338 yards per game on the defensive side of the ball. But one thing is for sure, they have the talent. They have the players. They have the they didn't even bring in that much transfers, but the ones that they did were impactful. When you look at this team on paper, they have everything working for them. They just need to execute at a better level. And because of their first 2 games being some tough opponents, the room for error was this small. and they have continued to turn the ball over. But, hey, we got to give credit to Georgia Tech here. We haven't talked enough about them and what they did.
Yeah,
right?
No doubt.
Agreed. And we are running a little bit short on time, which we normally do on this show. So our props and huge credit to Georgia Tech. Like, they went out and they won this game. Brent Key, like he said in his post-game little hit there, this is nothing new to them. They've done this before, and he's got a quarterback that I think certainly deserves a little bit more attention. I compared them, and I'd like to get your thoughts really quickly on this, to Notre Dame last year a little bit in the way that they used Riley Leonard with Notre Dame. The defense I thought was really good for Georgia Tech and will improve. Yeah. But that was a little comp that I thought, at least I noticed.
I think it's really accurate. It really is. And it's a team that really is just feasting on the fact that, like, we're going to be creative offensively. We're going to give our quarterback opportunities in the passing game that are layups like you saw in this football game. We're also going to get our quarterback active in the play calling and just be physical. That's the thing. Georgia Tech was just the more physical football team throughout the game. And then the creativity on top of that and the misdirection stuff, it's just very hard for you to play aggressively if you don't really know where to pinpoint how to attack a team. So that's where Georgia Tech. Now, the question for really Georgia Tech is, like, is it sustainable, right? Haynes King, it's week 3, and Haynes King is already, getting a blood transfusion for how many times he's
He missed last week, so yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Haynes King is literally the toughest quarterback in America.
No doubt.
You watch how he runs the ball every single down. This guy lives, eats, sleeps, and breathes football. If you look at some of the storylines from the offseason, he set up an air mattress in the locker room so he could just wake up and immediately play ball. This is the type of player that we're talking about. Yeah. And you get that with the head coach and Brent Key. I mean, this is a tough football team. They're coached really well because we know coaching matters, Matt. And they will play, they will make all the right decisions on the football field. I mean, just look at the drive that they had to take the lead. 13 plays, 90 yards scoring drive that took over 6 minutes of time for them to get up 21-14. I mean, Clemson did what they could do, and they would have those pop plays. But Georgia Tech, they're just a nitty-gritty football team. Yeah. And for anyone who just loves the game, it's fun to watch, and you respect it.
And just to kind of, cap this conversation, the truth is, too, and this is kind of hard, right, for me to say this, truth is that Brent Key and his coaching staff outcoached Dabo Swinney and the crew today. That's really what it comes down to.
Coaching matters.
Coaching matters. They managed the football game better, right? They got their key players in key situations more often than the other team. And now, hey, they had to kick a game-winning field goal with time running out to win the football game. But still, critical situations. I mean, Omar Daniels being in the right place at the right time twice, forcing 2 turnovers against Cade Klubnik. And then Lightsey, man, this kid, linebacker for Georgia Tech, all over the football field, on top of just what we see from the skill group and Haynes King. So Brent Key and the boys really prepared. They were the better football team today. All
right, so we got to move it along. Scoob, we really appreciate you joining us. We hope you get some sleep because we know you got a big couple days coming up.
I slept 8 hours on the plane, man. The good thing, Mickey Mouse paid for first class. I'm going to get a burger and a beer. All right, it's Sunday over here in Australia. Sunday afternoon, baby.
Well, the NFL games will be coming up bright and early for you. So you got to be up and early up there in Australia. Scoob, really appreciate it. Excited to see you next week and safe travels back to the United States.
Love you, fellas. Have a good show.
Likewise. All right, a really intriguing game in Oxford tonight. Ole Miss welcome Taylon Green and the high-flying Razorbacks offense to town. If you like offense, this was the game for you. Trinidad Chambliss running in for the score. Ole Miss, man, they got the offense. They also have a couple of quarterbacks there that have gotten banged up in this game against Arkansas.
Yeah, but this is just the credits of the coaching staff, too, and just what they can do with Lane Kiffin, and they're always going to be a high-powered offense.
Mike Washington Jr. for Arkansas finds the end zone, 47-yard score. Both teams knotted at 14 apiece. Ole Miss is going to look to strike back. Here's Chambliss finding the end zone again. Ole Miss goes back on top 21-14.
Man, the confidence that he's playing with, the suddenness, too, when he runs the football. I mean, there is absolutely no doubt in that low red zone area.
Braylon Russell taking the handoff and powering his way through for a 3-yard score. This might be one of the more tough Arkansas teams that we've seen out of Fayetteville the last couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. There's talent all over the place. Taylon Green is playing really good football right now, seeing the field well. And this was a really fun back-and-forth matchup.
Simmons Harrison Wallace III wide open in the end zone.
Yeah.
Literally wide open. Ole Miss takes back the lead 28-21, and it would be hotty-toddy from here on out. Chambliss would kind of cap things off. DeJon Stribling for a 2-yard score, and Ole Miss would lead it 38-28. The Rebs would go on to win it 41-35. Your final score there. Ole Miss improves to 3-0 on the year. Maybe a little bit of a hot seat continues for Mr. Pittman in Arkansas as we go on the stretch. But, yeah, Bobby Petrino and Taylor Green, they got something cooking there if they can find some defense.
Yeah, and don't be surprised, too, if Arkansas is one of these football teams, right, that is,
they'll
of
catch
course,
somebody.
bowl-worthy. And, yeah, they're right. They are going to snipe somebody, right?
Yeah.
Somebody that's going to be making a playoff push, and they're going to get them. And, what we learned from Ole Miss, Arkansas, and even, too, from some of the other matchups today in Georgia and Tennessee, don't play too much man coverage nowadays.
Right.
Because the skill guys and the quarterbacks are just too good for you to continuously do that. And that's really what happened today. Ole Miss and Arkansas, just too much man coverage in critical situations. It was too easy for these quarterbacks.
All right, so Ole Miss picks up the win there. How about the Florida Gators? Wounded animal mode following the unthinkable loss to USF. Get a nice reprieve going to Death Valley at night. Things got heated pregame. Things were heated during the game as well.
I mean, hey, Florida knows how important this game is for their entire season right now, coming in after that tough loss to South Florida. So This is important for them, and they came in with a little bit chip on their shoulder.
Critical play early on here. Whit Weeks ejected from the game, targeting 3 minutes into it.
I wasn't a huge fan of I don't think Whit Weeks went out of his way to make helmet-to-helmet contact. I think that he was playing hard, running to the football, and then it just – I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe as I watch it again, you could really say either or. But, yeah, I wish the best player on the defense would have stayed in the game a little bit longer for LSU.
Interceptions became a theme for this one, unfortunately, for young DJ Lagway. This was the first of 5.
Yeah, it really is just – it's not a good decision, first of all. I mean, it's not the right place to go with the football. He forced that one trying to get the bigger chunk play, trying to be over-aggressive in the first quarter against a defense that really is building a lot of confidence.
Look, I mean, LSU is going to win this game. The LSU offense needs to get it going. This was a really nice play to Xavier Thomas for a 23-yard score.
Yeah, LSU, I didn't mind it, actually. I feel like they were never really, stressed in this football game.
Yep.
Yes, they needed to score more, but I think Florida is a good football team. They really are.
Okay.
They just haven't really pieced it all together, similar like a Clemson. There's great pieces all over. The defense has talent. I mean, you see right here, DJ Lagway, he flashes, right? He flashes with great anticipation at times. But there's just no consistency to this offense and how it's developed.
This is the second pick of the game. A.J. Halsey. Intended target was Vernell Brown, the third. Halsey for 10 yards at the Florida 40. That sets up a Damian Ramos 45-yard field goal. Tigers go up 13-10. We go to the third. Lagway picked off for the third time. Deshaun Spears. And this one is going all the way back to the house.
Yeah, I mean, the interception before, even this last one, just not seeing the field well. The defenders for LSU baiting him into these throws and then, of course, taking advantage of them after.
Garrett Nussmeier's going to have a turnover of his own here. Flag was thrown. We got bodies all over the place. This was a little bit of a disjointed game all around, I thought. It was a flag fest, and it was a little just disjointed, I thought.
It was a little sloppy. It
was
a little undisciplined by both football teams, too. And Nussmeier, too, in a 20-10 football game. What are you doing? Throw the football out of bounds in that situation.
Triple coverage. This one's picked off by Tamarcus Cooley. Just another showcase, too. Look, we got to give credit to Blake Baker in this defense, too. He's turned this thing around in year 2.
But also, too, for Billy Napier, run the football. Why are you dropping back and throwing it almost 50 times with your young quarterback in Death Valley? I just thought, again, like South Florida, abandoned the run way too quickly. You have one of the best centers in the country. You could see, too, that DJ Lagway, they protected him pretty well for the most part in a lot of these situations. Run the football. Let your offensive line tee off and hit people on the opposite line of scrimmage a little bit more. It's a low-scoring football game. Play tempo a little. See, and that's why it goes back to Kirby Smart and what we saw in the Tennessee game. It could have been very easy for them to say, hey, you know what, Gunnar, let's just throw it 70 times, right? We're getting outscored, right? Let's just drop back and throw it, right? The same thing here, right? I just feel like Florida abandoned the run way too quickly again like they did last week. Run the football with Jaden Ball, protect your young quarterback, develop plays off of that aggressive running attack, and go from there. this is just one of those things where I think just Billy Napier and Florida mismanaged the football game again like they did last week against South Florida.
Yeah, as we continue to see some highlights here, for those of you who are just watching us live, Texas A&M has just taken down Notre Dame. We'll get to that in just a second. I promise we will have that conversation in just a second because it is massive what just happened up there.
Yeah.
Look, the conversation around Billy Napier is only going to get greater, and the criticism and the scrutiny, I think, is accurate because, quite frankly, this offense has not looked the part this year. We all thought that DJ Lagway was going to take the next step. And if you look at the talent that is comprised on this roster, it is amongst the best in the entire country.
Yeah, it is.
It's about how you utilize that talent, right?
No doubt.
How many times are we going to say coaching matters this show? But it is true.
Yeah, and that's where like it gets a little redundant, and we're only in week 3. But that really, I think, is the biggest separator between some of the teams that are really talented roster-wise and also, too, just like who we're seeing perform at a high level right now. And that's why, when I watch Miami play, I just feel like they're in a whole nother tier as far as the way that they attack you on both sides of the football, the way their players look on the field, the speed in which they play with, the execution of the game plan. It's just a whole different look. LSU is slowly figuring out. The defense is showing up. It's doing some really good stuff. It's getting better. Harold Perkins looks better and more in game shape. Great to see him out there. Wes Weeks did a great job with his brother not out there, being all over the place too. Keys was all over the football field today too. 14 tackles on the day, a half a sack and a TFL. So they're doing a lot of good things defensively, and I have faith that Nussmeier and this crew of receivers are just going to continue to get better and better with the opponents that they face later in the year.
No question about it. And by the way, work to be done on LSU and Brian Kelly's side. If you get 5 interceptions and you only win by 10, 20-10, I think there's a lot left to be desired there as well for LSU. All right, let's move it along here. We just talked about how Texas A&M went up to Notre Dame and got a win. Wow, 41-40.
Man.
Texas A&M scored on their final drive. Marcel Reed had a pass to Nate Boekricher, I think is how you pronounce it, 11 yards for the go-ahead touchdown. Look, there was a lot of questions around Marcel Reed in this offense and how they were going to take the next step. Using the must-win moniker in Week 3 of the college football season might seem hyperbolic, but in the case of Notre Dame, I don't think that it is. This was a must-win game for Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame after they went down to Miami and lost. They're coming off a bye week.
Right.
Coming off a bye week. Texas A&M coming to their house. It was a back-and-forth affair throughout the entire game. Great matchup with teams that have similar identities in the way that they want to win the game.
Yeah.
This is a massive win for Texas A&M, Maddie. It's a massive loss for Notre Dame because I don't think they control their own destiny anymore.
Well, and that's where I guess being the independent now actually does backfire against you, right? Starting 0-2 and not being able to perform in a conference championship game. So now they really are kind of playing in a situation where they need some things to kind of fall in their favor for them to get back into the mix. And overall, I think the biggest thing that I noticed when I watched this football team is just the Al Golden transition to Chris Ash hasn't been as seamless as I probably would have liked to have seen on the defense side of the football. The defensive identity just seems to be a little different than what we saw a year ago. The talent is there. I mean, Drake Bowen and those boys, Adon Schuler, it's good, right? Leonard Moore, I'm not exactly sure what happened with his injury early in the football game, but that's one of the best corners in the country. If he's out for an extended period of time, that's very concerning. I think the exciting thing on the opposite side of the sideline here, though, is Elko. Man, tough football coach that knows how to get his team ready to go, especially in a hostile environment. Marcel Reed is starting to develop and see the field much cleaner. I loved a lot of the play concepts that they ran with him. I thought he saw the field well. I thought he threw some really good football passes down the field. Concepcion, man, is impression, okay? I mean, he is like awesome when he has the football. And Craver really got involved with the plays today too. So they're explosive. I think the offensive line has struggled early on. Offensive line did much better in this matchup today. Le'Veon Moss being healthy. Oh my God, is that exciting to see this guy bounce back after a horrific injury a year ago. 20 carries for 81 yards and 3 touchdowns and tough yards. That's what I love to see. So Texas A&M doing some good stuff. And Hey, this schedule, man, it's wild.
It is.
Auburn's going to be a hell of a matchup for them. Mississippi State is a better football team. I don't know what Florida's record is going to be at that point, but still, they're going to be a tough out. We saw Arkansas, LSU, man, Missouri. This is a hell of a schedule as I look at this.
And then
this is unbelievable.
And then you go all the way down at Texas to end the season on November 28th.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people forget Texas A&M was 60 minutes away from going to an SEC championship game last year.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And then they lost to Texas. So another collision course here. We've talked about Texas. Maybe they're not what we thought they were.
Yeah.
People were asking, us last week on the show, how come we're not giving more love to Marcel Reed? Well, I just don't think that we had really seen it yet against quality competition this year. I think he's going to get some flowers for what they did there today.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, and that's just a monumental win for a young quarterback to go into Notre Dame and to get a victory that way. It's just super impressive. And the way that he played, getting banged up in the shoulder the week before, being able to battle through that, took a few tough hits in this one too, and still bounced back, and just an unbelievable gritty win by the Texas A&M Aggies. And again, credit to Mike Elko for getting the boys ready to go there in a tough environment. I had Notre Dame all the way. I thought they'd bounce back, especially with the bye week. But, man, Texas A&M did not disappoint, playing good, tough football on both sides of the football in this one.
So a lot of folks are going to be asking, well, does Notre Dame...
And they gave up a block punt.
They did.
For a touchdown.
Yeah, early on in the game.
Again, Marcus Freeman and the special teams strikes again.
They do. The defense, like you said, is a question mark going forward. But a lot of folks are going to be wondering, hey, does Notre Dame control their own destiny? Is 10-2 going to be enough if they run the table the rest of the way?
Yeah.
Good news for you guys is if you stick with us the rest of the season, you will find out those answers because we are here every single Saturday, 11 p.m. Eastern time or anytime on YouTube if you'd like to catch us the following day. Don't forget to start your day with Countdown to Game Day starting 8:20 a.m. Eastern time. Either way, we have got you covered before and after all of the biggest games on Saturday. We'll break down every big game, every upset, every notable storyline like Notre Dame throughout the entire course of the day all season long. So your Saturdays belong here with us.
Yes.
Time now for the playbook presented by Modelo. We go back to the touch with our very own QB, Matt Sims. Matty, absolute classic in your old stomping grounds there up at Neyland today with Georgia and Kirby Smart coming to town. Gunnar Stockton making his first true road start. And it felt like a coming out party. What did you see on the tape?
Really impressive by Gunnar Stockton. And just to keep your composure, I mean, the stadium was rocking, right? We saw the checkerboard. It was all going, and it was going in the favor of Tennessee early on in this football game. This was a critical moment of the game, though. It's 3rd and 7. It's 21-7 Tennessee. We get a really big play right here. And this was a theme that we're going to kind of play into a little bit with this entire film breakdown. So we see right here that we have 7 Tennessee defenders on the line of scrimmage. One of these guys has to be responsible for the running back, but still, we have an advantage here at getting after the passer. You can see on the back end here that we have essentially cover 0, right? The odd thing about this is that everyone has their eyes on the quarterback, and that's going to be a key to why this play busts open for a touchdown. Lawson Lucky up here at the point of this. He's going to be blocking most dangerous man, MDM, right? Dylan Bell, same thing. Block, most dangerous man, MDM. We're going to just basically run a little bubble screen, and Gunnar, get it to our guy, Zachariah Branch, in space, and let him make the free man miss, right? And that's exactly how it plays out. Free man coming off the edge. Great job by Gunnar, getting tall, getting over that guy with his hands up. And you could see, right, how we're setting up. Man, Dylan Bell, hat for a hat. Lawson Lucky, hat for a hat. And they're doing a great job of working through it. You saw eyes in the backfield. This defender a little late to react to this screen pass. Georgia hit this for a touchdown in previous weeks leading up to this matchup. And this is one where we really let them off the hook. We really did, right? This was an opportunity. I think Tim Banks a little over-aggressive on the defensive side in this situation.
Why are we so far back? Why is everybody so far off the line?
It's a great point. So in cover 0 looks, you kind of play soft. You're forcing the offense to throw underneath quickly, and then you're pursuing to make the tackle, right? Because you know the quarterback has to get rid of the football with the extra added defender in our favor. But with the eyes in the backfield, we're just a little late reacting to this quick throw. And that's why, so impressive. A huge thing here, finding the lane and getting this completed. And then Zachariah Branch, this is exactly why they brought this young man in.
Yes.
Because as soon as he gets a little free space, he turns on the speed burst, man, and then he's out the gate. And I really feel like that changed the whole vibe of this game, right? A 3rd and 7 play, Tim Banks being a little over-aggressive, and it backfired on him.
That is exactly why they brought him in again. Georgia leading the country in drops last year. He's a playmaker on the outside.
Right.
All right, stats don't always kind of tell the story of a game, but they certainly do add context. And against pressure today, Gunnar Stockton was legit. 9 for 9, 182 yards, and here on 4th down, he had pressure in his face and he dropped a dime.
Well, this was what's so great about Gunnar, too. As you saw throughout the football game, there was that common theme. Critical situations, we're going to be over-aggressive. We're going to attack Gunnar and try to get him on the ground. And this is, again, where Gunnar did a great job of identifying the coverage. We're going to get a very similar look. So the offensive play by Georgia, a little wide and release switch go here by Humphreys. Zachariah Branch is going to dive in, and he's going to run essentially that sail route. And then if he didn't have to block the tight end here in this situation, he would run into the flat. So it's a 3-level vertical. It's the go to the corner or sail route, then down to the flat. 1, 2, 3, top down read. The same thing, though, for the defense here in Tennessee. We get an odd man front here, 3 down front. We got a lot of people near the line of scrimmage. You're going to see Georgia's going to slide their entire offensive line down this way from the guard over with the back on that side. And they do a great job of picking through all of this stuff. And it's really impressive just how quickly Gunnar identifies it. We see there's no middle safety or deep safety to protect these DBs on the backside. Now, the difference is, look, they got eyes on the receiver now. They weren't going to let any receiver screen kind of dupe them this time around. But Gunnar does a great job buying time, delivers a beautiful football over the shoulder. And Humphreys, man, that's great coverage.
Yeah.
That's great coverage, but you can't defend, right, the perfectly thrown football right here. And here's a great shot of it, right? So we got this overload look. Tennessee's actually going to drop out this defensive tackle. This guy's going to be dropping out into zone here, right? And then this guy is playing man-to-man coverage on the tight end here. And all through all of this traffic, Georgia does a great job with their 4-man slide in the back here to the left of sifting through all this stuff. And look at that clean pocket right there. Right? And this is where I was like a little disappointed with some of the stuff that we did game plan wise, because I thought with our 4- and 5-man rush, we were kind of just playing more traditional zone looks. We were doing a good job of affecting the passer pretty consistently. So I think we got a little over aggressive again in that critical situation.
By and large, Tennessee was able to get in the backfield and cause some problems for Stockton. He handled it really well.
Yeah.
All right. One of the biggest separators in this game was time of possession. Georgia doubled them up essentially in that category, but one of the reasons they were able to do that was because they got the run game going, or should I say, they stuck with the run game, especially coming out of the second half.
Exactly right, Sam. And I think that's like the credit to Mike Bobo and Kirby Smart and really just understanding, right, what it was demanded of them to win this football game. They didn't get anxious and say, hey, we're down, we need to change everything. They stuck to the run. They kept wearing out this defensive front. And then it pays off here in overtime after the missed field goal. So we have basically like a 3 tight end set here. We got 3 tight ends on this side of the line of scrimmage, 1 receiver here. But already at the snap, does it not seem strange that there's just this huge wide open vacancy in the Tennessee defense? Like, you would think with all of this heaviness over here on this side of the line of scrimmage, we would get some bodies up towards the line of scrimmage. That's not what happens. So now the Georgia offense has a great advantage. All they have to do is block down. So whoever fills this gap to defend this area, just block down as best as you possibly can. And then Georgia is going to have a guard right over here. Mackay is going to pull around the corner here. He's going to have that last little kick out block that is the difference in this game. And then who is it on the outside here? Oh, man, it's our boy Lucky, right? So Lucky clearly has a great role on this team. He seals the outside defender here. Morris comes around. He's going to get this defender on the opposite side, seal that. And then from there, it's just, hey, trust your instincts, run hard, and then get to the end zone. And they do a good job of hustling and stopping him short there in that situation. But still, it was set up, I feel like, for Georgia to outflank the Tennessee defense in an obvious run situation here. And I think that's just, again, critical situations. Tennessee found themselves on the wrong side of a lot of them here late in the football game. And that's really the difference in the game, and that's why this game is frustrating for us in Tennessee.
It seemed like every time Tennessee scored, Georgia had an answer for them. But when you look at Gunnar Stockton and his play going forward, it certainly feels like there's some more confidence in his ability and what he can do in the system.
Man, this was his first road test that he really had as a starting quarterback, and I got to tell you, the dude passed with like an A+ grade, right? His toughness, his grittiness, it wasn't all that pretty early on in the game to go down 21-7 like that in Neyland when it was fired up like that. Just super impressive by Kirby Smart. And even Kirby admitted, like, we got outplayed today, but we survived and we kept fighting. And that's why football is great, because of wins like that.
Survive and advance.
That's
and with
right.
Alabama coming to town in just a couple of weeks, we'll see how Gunnar Stockton improves over those next couple of weeks. All right, let's move on. That was the playbook presented by Modelo. We do have a lot of top plays to get to. Oklahoma taking on Temple. Sooners decide a little trickery, misdirection on the extra point. First, they shift out of kicking formation, then fake a run, hit a pop pass over the defense's head. Not sure they needed to pull out all the tricks and all the stops, but hey, if you want to kind of get things ironed out before things pick up in SEC play, might as well just pull out the bag and see what works.
That a boy. Memphis taking on Troy in a tied game until Brady Cluse with the one-hander in the back. Wow. I mean, we see this every weekend now. The one-hand grabs are just getting out of hand. Brady with his first touchdown of his career, and it is a doozy, my friend. Enjoy that one. That was a special play. Good job, number 12.
I was almost looking for like Seth Hennigan to keep playing for Memphis, but I think he's out of eligibility. All right, Ryan Williams been a little quiet to start this season for Alabama. This play looks a lot like the play against Georgia last year, but it's good to see Ryan Williams get involved in this offense a little bit more.
Oh, it absolutely is. And I mean, this is exactly the ball placement there by Ty Simpson, and then the ability for Ryan Williams after the catch. Just phenomenal. Good day for the Alabama Crimson Tide in the skill group. All right, so now UNC hosting Richmond. And here we got Mekhi Gabor with the big play for Bill Belichick. The Tar Heels making the turnover and running it back to the house for the touchdown. Like that play right there by number 4, the linebacker. Good job transition there. Sudden change. We don't need the offense. Just do it yourself. Run for the tutty. I love it.
Hey, how about UNC? By the way, I think they're getting the Clemson team in a couple of weeks. We got to keep an eye on that one. All right, let's give some love to Conference USA.
Yeah.
The Blue Hens.
Nick Minicucci, baby.
Walking it off against my UConn Huskies, man. UConn cannot buy a win in overtime. First it was Syracuse, and now Delaware. How about your boy?
Nick Minicucci, a Sims Complete student of mine in New Jersey. Went to my Don Bosco prep. Congratulations, Nick. What a win for you.
Yeah, so those were some of the top plays, Maddie. I think you're leading us off here with some of the not top.
Yeah, not top 10. Okay, so it says hotbox in the stadium. Hey, guys, that's not a cool pun there, okay? You know that I have a – no, I'm kidding. No, but hey, what happened? We got a fire outside the stadium. This actually looks kind of serious. But I don't know what happened there, but hey, something blew up on fire.
If that looks serious, this looks even more serious.
Oh, I love it.
Georgia Tech and Clemson slugfest today.
Cut me, man.
That's Keelan Rutledge, just the definition of a football player. Get back out and grind it out, young fella. Love it. That's what you got. That's why I didn't play football.
That's right. And here we go. We got the lollipop hat. Oh, my.
That is a rainbow.
Man, you know what? Doesn't matter. Still counts. All right? Still counts. It wasn't the perfect spot. It wasn't great technique, but it got the job done. That's a tutty. Good job, Sanford.
One of the most intriguing games of the day going down in Columbia, South Carolina. Both teams undefeated through the first 2 weeks. This game feels big. And just how awesome is that? Vanderbilt and South Carolina feeling like a big game. Really tough to play. Down there at Williams-Brice, Diego Pavia finding Cedric Alexander, who goes in for the touchdown. Vanderbilt would take an early 7-0 lead. South Carolina would try to answer here. Lenore Sellers finding Jordan Dingle, and he's going to take it 33 yards into Vanderbilt territory.
Wide open right there on that boot play. Really well play design there by the South Carolina offense.
A couple of plays later, Rashul Faison taking the handoff. He's going to go in and score. South Carolina ties it up 7 apiece. We go to the second quarter now at Willie B. Pavia, unfazed by just about any sort of pressure you throw his way. Junior Sherrill, connection, touchdown. Vandy retakes the lead.
Good throw on the outside peck right there. Way to throw the accurate football in the low red zone to get in the end zone.
All right, scary moment here, Maddie. You can relate. Hit up high to the head. Sellers able to complete the pass, but he would stay down and he would leave the game with a concussion and would not return.
Yeah, unfortunate for the Laura Sellers and just the leader and the heart and soul of that football team. And I don't think the Vanderbilt defender was trying to make it a dirty play. Just had hands up and then just helmet-to-helmet contact that was incidental, I thought, in that moment.
South Carolina, a couple of injuries here in this game, and it showed up because Vanderbilt would just go to the ground and continue to pound it into the end zone. That's James L. Lassiter. Handoff, 44 yards for the score.
Man, like the moves there, but really good. Just, again, Vanderbilt. And honestly, I just think South Carolina, that number 11 ranking just really isn't, I think, reflective of the team that they have currently.
Yeah.
And really, Vanderbilt, I think, is overall the better football team. Even if Lenora Sellers played the entire game, I still think Vanderbilt was going to win this football game, right? As just a overall, I feel like they're a little bit more prepared, a little bit more balanced on both sides of the football. But there's no doubt South Carolina had a few breaks go against them in this one.
AP voters took some heat this week because of some of the rankings that were out there.
Yeah.
Those two teams could have been flipped. I mean, we have some common opponents now. Virginia Tech, Vanderbilt went into their house, came back. South Carolina's needed a couple of special teams plays to get some of their wins, and they lose at home today. So that brings us to our power rankings.
You know what that is, though? I think we're still in that mode of we're just falling in love for the logo, the brand, what it was like, and the history of the school. And we got to start to kind of throw those things out the door a little bit. Like, even with Clemson, hey, it's not working out that great. They can still accomplish a lot of great things, but it's just the ranking has to kind of reflect their play, right? And not just the logo on the side of their helmet.
Very good. Power rankings.
Very good.
Let's get to them. These are the power rankings that I put up so far through our results through week 3. Tell me where I'm wrong.
Okay. First of all right. Now, I mean, I like what I've seen for them, but I feel like I've just seen a little bit more from this team right now. I would like to make them, right? We're going to sub them out. I'm going to make the Miami Hurricanes the #1 team in the country.
So are you just flipping them? Or are you just going here right now? Or
let's leave them there for now, right? Georgia, okay. I'm okay with Georgia. No, actually, I'm not okay. I'm taking Georgia out of it. All right. I'm going to move Oregon up to 2. All right, if I can do that. And now this is where. All right, I'm going to start to move some things around here. All right.
Well, hold on. They just got a win on the road.
I know. I'm not done with them yet. Okay. All right. I'm going to put Georgia back here, right, at number 3.
Okay.
Just for the time being. And this is where, I'm debating 2 football teams in my top 5. Who do you think are the 2 that I'm debating here?
I know you love Oklahoma.
I really like me some Oklahoma. Yeah. So for right now, because I really do like Florida State and what they're doing, you know that I like what Gus Malzahn's doing. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to be defended with how they run offensively. I'm going to put Oklahoma at number 4 right now because I trust in Brent Venables, right? Just like I trust in Kirby Smart, right, in these critical situations, right? More talented at the quarterback position, right? Hey, Gunnar showed a lot of stuff today, though.
No question.
Unproven quarterback in a lot of ways, but, man, has it looked really good. And the decision-making process and all that. Will Stein does a great job of preparing the quarterbacks. And right now, I think the most balanced football team across the board, right, as far as just the skill, the talent, and their philosophy on both sides of the football.
We've been waiting to say the U is back. We've finally been able to say Texas is back. I think we can officially say that Miami is back after, what they did today. They got a tough one coming up. Florida coming to town next week, so that'll be something to keep an eye on. Not a lot of people are staying up to watch this team. They're playing late sometimes. We got to see them earlier today.
I think this is more accurate.
Okay.
I think I like this a little bit better, all right? Because I think Georgia is a good football team, but I think just the lack of depth in the defensive line is a little concerning for me. I think that's going to be an issue for them as the season progresses. The secondary got torched a little bit today. It's a talented secondary, but I just think that Tennessee actually just has a legit passing attack this year that really is dangerous, can stretch the field.
Why did you take them out? What was their win against Clemson does not mean as much anymore?
Yeah, I would say that definitely has affected me because I'm not really sure if Clemson is a true contender like I originally thought to start the year, right? So I'm kind of admitting the fact that I put a little bit too much into Clemson stock early in the year. LSU has looked good. I'm so impressed by the defense and the improvement that they made, especially in the transfer portal and the way the secondary has looked. So it's much cleaner on that side. It's the offense and I guess their lack of consistency at times that is a little concerning to me, whereas I feel like I can trust these offenses a little bit more than them at the current moment. But they got the talent to do it, and we know they got the quarterback to do it. Just haven't seen enough of it yet.
We don't have the spot here, but who would be number 6 for you?
Number 6, I think it would be LSU.
Not Florida State?
They're number 7 right after it. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Okay.
And the other teams, Illinois is not that far behind. I know they struggled a little bit today, but
we'll find out next week.
They got a balanced football team, and I really think Bielema knows how to coach this football team and adjust. I just don't know.
No.
I can't buy into it.
All respect to
really
Villanova. This has been FIU, Villanova. We got to play somebody.
And like, I know some Penn State fans too, and I know like you guys at home, even in the chat, even if you're ripping me right now, I know the truth is that like you're not so sure either, right? I know. I get it. All right, I love your running backs. There's no doubt. There's just something off about the passing attack every week where it's like, can we ever start fast? Is it possible?
Yeah.
And the truth is, I don't know. I don't know if it's a Penn State thing or what, but just it doesn't look clean right now to me. It's hard for me to put them in the top
We got
5.
somebody in the YouTube chat saying Penn State at 7.
Okay, now listen,
Respectable.
that we can debate.
Yeah.
But they are not a top 5 football team right now with the way they've started the season.
All right, very good. So these are our kind of adjusted.
Yeah, what do you
top
think? You
5.
like it?
I like it. I do think that Miami has proven that they are just a different team in the trenches this year. And Mario Cristobal has built that thing into a true contender.
Yeah.
Do they kind of step on a rake, as the great Reese Davis says?
Curious to see how this young man adapts, right, when they start playing some, exactly, correct,
27th
right?
of September, circle the calendar.
I like what I've seen from Julian Sayin. I think he has really done some good stuff, too. The overall speed of the defense is super impressive. That's what caught our eye when they played against Texas. I think that's real and legit. Oklahoma, I mean, it goes back to just the coaching, and they got the right leadership, I think, right, to kind of build momentum into the season.
It's fluid. Stephen A. Kind of says it all the time, so I think we'll stay it here on our college football show Power Rankings. It is fluid. All right, don't look now.
This is really hurtful, honestly.
Don't look now. Yeah, but I feel like you went with your heart with Tennessee today.
I mean, I had to, bro.
You didn't have
pick
You can't pick
Georgia.
Georgia, so.
I can't pick. Now, the one that really hurts is I really thought Notre Dame was going to play much better defensively against Texas A&M. I didn't think that they'd have such trouble defending Texas A&M, but Marcel Reed and the boys, man, they came ready to play, and Concepcion and Craver are legit on the outside.
All right, let's make some picks for next week. See if we can improve to 6-0. Maybe
Maddie
can pick some up on the leader right here. We're going to find out a lot, I think, about the Big Ten. It's going to shake out next week. Illinois and Indiana. We got a top 25 showdown in Bloomington. Who do you got in this one?
I'm going with Illinois. I really think that they're one of the better underrated football teams in the country right now. I love Luke Altmaier. I think he's very comfortable in the system. I think they really have figured out, too, getting like Embiid involved with the game plan as well. Yakis on the defensive end position is a game breaker. Play really solid team defense as well. I think they're too much for Indiana to handle.
All right, Skubie, who is not here with us right now in Australia, we just saw earlier in the show, he is picking Illinois as well, which means I'm going to save the graphic and go with Mr. Fernando Mendoza and Indiana. They're playing at home. You guys are picking the road team and going there to win.
I hear you. I'm picking the better team, I think, from what I've seen so far this year.
We'll find out.
I know.
We'll find out.
Tough road test.
7:30 next weekend. This is also an intriguing one.
Yeah.
And storylines abound. Auburn, Oklahoma, obviously John Mateer coming in, and Auburn with their quarterback going back home. Yeah. It's going to be a contentious battle there between the two.
Yes, absolutely. Contentious is a great word for it, and I'm going to take the home team in this one. I'm going to go with Oklahoma. I think they're the better overall football team. I don't think that Auburn is going to be able to run it up and down the field on the Oklahoma defense. I think Brent Venables is going to mix up a lot of looks. They're going to have a lot of big hits on Jackson Arnold, their former quarterback, and I just think Mateer is just too explosive a football player for them to keep down for the entire football game.
We'll make this really quick. Scooby is also going with Oklahoma.
Okay.
I'm not saving the graphic here. We're going Oklahoma
all
the way across. This show has been a lot of Oklahoma love. So Boomer Sooner, I don't want to hear that we don't show Oklahoma love. This show has shown Oklahoma some love.
My
today.
brother was a Longhorn. I'm talking about Oklahoma. I'm what am I? A Vol? I can't even speak it right now. I'm talking about Georgia a lot. I mean, it's a long day, man. It's too many hostile teams we're talking about.
You're a Louisville Volunteer. How about that?
Hey, good pronunciation of Louisville, baby. All right, yeah.
Not our first
I am
show.
a card, always.
All right, that's going to do it for us. We will see you in week 4 for Matt Sims.
Yes, sir.
Skubie Mageza joining from Australia. Our entire production crew, I am Sam Ravech, saying so long. Thank you so much for watching the College Football Show presented by AT&T. We'll see you next week, everybody.
See you next week, everyone. Toodles.